Hey, we're Flick and Joe, and this is our dog Walter. In 2022, we made the crazy decision to quit our full-time jobs, pack up our lives, and move aboard our blue water sailing boat. We spent many months refitting her and getting her ready for our plans until one day we actually did it. We cast off the lines, we pointed her south, and off we went. We've now sailed over 1,000 nautical miles, dodging orcas, yes, actually, and most of the rocks along the way. Join us for the beautiful, quite stressful but endlessly eventful life that is full-time living aboard.
In this week's episode, some friends join us on the boat. We explore more of the Algarve Coast, and Flick tries to open up about her sailing-related anxiety. Doesn't want to get wet paws.
There's water in there.
Alright, down you go please. This is... Down you go. Go on, down you go.
He's doing it again.
Walter Hansen.
He's got one paw on a dry bit.
He'll run to the back.
Walter! Hi, Wally! Walter!
He's trying to smell who it is.
Who is it, Wally? Walter, who is it? Oh!
Okay, right.
Oh! Hi!
Just wait for these waves to come past before we try and get on the boat.
Okay.
Wait.
Oh, Walter! Show me your skills.
You ready? Do a wicked flip.
Are you scared? I'm not surprised.
I'm not scared. Never get scared.
Drop!
Well, come here. Well,
I think it will be easier with a little loop.
Come on.
No, don't
Good
put it in the loop, put it like at the bottom.
It's quite wavy, everyone. You're just
You
getting
can
a
do
shot
it.
on my butt. I don't know what. I think I'm holding it too high. I've not even been in the sea yet.
Well, it's okay. Come here. Yeah.
So basically, all I'm doing is jumping off this, but I'm holding on to something.
Yeah.
Get a bit of a swing.
You basically just jumped off the side of the boat.
Yeah! It was terrifying! Woo! Let go! Woo!
Yeah!
Don't lose the camera, whatever you do.
Oh yeah.
That's a big wave. If you go around here, it's less breakers. Whoa, back it up. Yeah.
I've just capsized. Wait.
Pull it.
Walter went under. We all went
Were you
under.
recording?
No, I wasn't. It's so annoying. We just capsized. Ignoring the dinghy capsize, we were just loving being on anchor with friends and exploring the Algarve Coast. We made a short hop from Portimao to Benagil Cave. The rock type here lends itself to fairly quick erosion, but on a geological level, we're still talking thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years or more. But for rocks, that's quick. This particular cave is unique to the coastline because the reef itself is beginning to erode and collapse away, leaving this hole which lights up the cave when the sun shines.
Come on. In you go. Wait. You guys want to wait for one and I'll push you out? That's this thing. Go for it, I got you. Okay, I'll swim.
What are you making? A Nendaz. This is
The Nendaz.
Nendaz.
Nendaz. This is called a Nendaz. It currently looks like a bowl of sick, but we're working on it. Just a dash of orange, just to spruce things up.
Oh, it's changing the colour.
Oh yeah, no, that looks better.
Yeah, and actually, we get a bit of a terrazzo kind of vibe.
Yeah. It looks like it's got chili in it.
Just give it a quick whiz. Would you like to do the honours?
I don't know what that's reminding me of.
Taste.
It doesn't taste bad.
It's better.
doesn't
It needs
taste
more.
great.
It needs more orange.
Okay.
It is much better than the first taste.
This tonic is the wrong.
Yeah, the tonic ruined it, I think.
We have to do some options.
Have you got any other glass options? So, both Emma, Dom, and Bethan work full time in the creative industry and are very successful at it. Tonight's challenge was to create a boat cocktail, and we asked Instagram to vote for the one they preferred. So Bethan, Dom, and Emma had to come up with the cocktail itself. Then they had to photograph the cocktail and come up with a cocktail description to really sell it. So come on, which one would you guys voted for? And let us know whether you agree with the results.
Bit of a swing.
It's basically pointless. The rope was basically pointless. That rewinders. But...
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, come here.
Yeah, but to be fair, I am right. When I asked what I had to do, and you were
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, that's right."
I was expecting something a little bit of a hang on.
Come down here, I'll look after you.
This is just so unnecessary.
Come on, cheaper. You'll have to complain to the authorities because nature has sort of had its way with this bit of path.
No, I just feel like I should have had some debriefing and I could have put my other trousers on.
Well, I recommend the
trainers on. Huh? No, my proper.
She is not enjoying it. Running to the beach to catch the sunset for some yoga. Bit close, cutting it fine. I've basically never really had any form of anxiety or anything, lived a pretty easy life, and I'm not saying I don't want to take away from anyone who really suffers with anxiety because that's terrible, but I've had my first taste of how it feels and it's not fun. I would call it I don't know whether this is the PC term, but rationalised anxiety, a series of bad things have happened so I can understand in my head what my flight or fight instinct or whatever is doing that means that I'm feeling quite stressed about the boat. We've been editing loads of videos lately and we really did have a series of unfortunate events, and I don't think anyone we've spoken to other than the people who were attacked by orcas had anything like that. So I'm not blaming my head at all. I totally understand. It's just doing its thing to protect me and take me out of a dangerous situation, but there have been so many points on this where I've been I don't want to carry on. This is horrible. But then you have moments like this, which is just so lovely, that hopefully if we get more of these, then my brain will be oh, it's okay, I can deal with this. Next steps, moving the boat to Tangier, which is should be fine. It should just be a day sail over to like Albufeira or Villamora, and then around to Faro, and then a long sail around to Cadiz, and then from Cadiz to Barbate, and then Barbate across. It should be fine. But we've got 10 days until we need to be stamped out, and only, well, we should be going in on Monday, so that takes us to a week, less than a week before we need to be stamped out. And we need a good weather window in that week, and at the moment it's like strong winds coming from totally the opposite direction. And when I'm talking strong, like I saw one forecast that said like 40 knots constant, 45 knots constant plus gusting. And I was like, oh, well, I definitely want to be in a marina during that, particularly with everything I've just said. So yeah, and I think we don't really, I need to look into it more, but like crossing the Strait of Gibraltar, I just want to make sure that we're doing that in like quite calm seas. I don't know how bad it can get in there, but I feel like with current, if we've got wind against current or tide or whatever, it might be really horrible. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting week to try and get all of that together. But then we'll be in Morocco, we can calm down, we can have 3 months of like no stress, detoxing. I think I've just learned a lot about my own like head and how I deal with stress and the capacity that I've got for stress, which is like a really interesting thing to know. Like you can deal with a lot more than you think, but also that there's a breaking point that sometimes your head just doesn't want to go there, and I think that I hit that a couple of times. And then I've learned a lot about our relationship. Joe's been superb, very supportive, very helpful. I think he's learned a lot on how to communicate with me when I'm anxious, which has been really helpful. But yeah, going back last week to England for a week and a bit, a few days, was like exactly what I needed. And now we've got a mattress topper, which is my absolute highlight. So I had such a comfy night's sleep last night. So I'm looking forward to more of those. I think I'm going to go back to the boat now. Ignore this little moon. Can you see it? Yeah, there it is. Pack up my stuff and then go get some dinner, I think, and carry on with some work.
On being hauled out, Flick, Walter and I hopped in a rental car and drove all the way back to the UK. It was a lot of miles, and not a particularly cheap method of transport with fuel prices being so high. But nevertheless, it was a fun road trip. We were able to go home for a couple of weeks and see family whilst the boat was being repaired. What repairs did we need doing? Well, off the back of us hitting a rock some time ago, the insurance company wanted to make sure that there was absolutely no long-lasting damage from us hitting the rock. We had the boat surveyed initially in Vigo, Spain, and they said it would be fine to sail on, but that the keel hull joint was compromised. We could have sailed the boat across the Atlantic if we wanted to. We could have sailed it around the world. There would have been no issues whatsoever. However, in maybe 5 years, 10 years, who knows, the problem could have reared its ugly head. You'd have had long-term water ingress between the keel and the hull. Basically, water would have been trying to track up through the threads of the bolt and slowly eating our mild steel bolts, slowly rusting them away until potentially one day the keel could fall off in many, many years' time. But the insurance company wanted us to make sure we do it properly and make sure it's sorted out. And to be honest, so did we. So once we got to Lagos, we had the boat fully surveyed again, and then the boat works carried out here. They ground back the keel hull joint, removed all the old sealing compound, and left the boat in a spare crane for a week to open up the joint and ensure it fully dries out. Then they resealed it and applied new anti-fouling and primer. Fast forward 2 weeks, we drove back from the UK and we put the boat back in the water. the drift. It's a skid. Pretty cool, huh? No. You're just gonna try and grab the bow. See if you can grab the line. If you can't, don't, just hold on to the boat. I think I've not really got any fenders actually. I've just come in super slow. You hold the boat. One line, thank you. Oh, well done. Yeah, you just push it away a bit, like.